take them all out for the big bounce off the bottom. That's a big shakeout. This is what happens to the bulls when they got that exuberance.
I can't even keep up with the tick-tock.
All right, we're in bear market. We told you people not to get involved in that. Whoa, look at that.
Good evening, stock traders, and welcome to Stock Traders Talk Radio. Here on a beautiful Monday night, March the 19th, 2012. I'm your host, STT. Joining me on tonight's program, I have QT Cal.
Hey there, STT. How are ya?
I am fantastic. How about yourself?
Doing okay. A little bummed out that my Purdue Boilermakers didn't quite make the Sweet 16 last night. So, but, you know, we got IU in there, so I'm still gunning for our Hoosiers, Indiana basketball, so it'll be all right.
Did you happen to catch the end of the FSU game last night?
I did not.
Oh, what a game.
But they lost, right?
Yeah, they lost, but what a fantastic game that was.
There's been some twist to this March Madness so far. So
that Cincinnati team, you know, they were on the ropes the whole game. It was a real tight game the whole game. I think the biggest lead was like 3 points the whole second half, and then it went up to 4 finally towards the end. But man, what a game that was!
Wow!
What a great game. Anyway, moving on. Also joining us on the program tonight, I have Mr. Kopp.
Hey, what's going on, STT, QT?
How's it going there, Mr. Kopp?
Loving it. What could be better?
You missed a night or two, you know.
I had a business trip to Washington, D.C. Pretty good. A little Pentagon action.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Anything you care to share with us?
No. Definitely nothing. The family got to see some stuff. That's what's cool. So, okay. And you always got it. No matter what you do when you go to D.C., you got to go see the Declaration of Independence. So, have you been there?
Been there.
Right.
Long time ago. Also joining us on the program tonight, I have Sifakia.
Aloha, STT, Cop, Cutie Cal.
Aloha, brah. How's everything?
It's going good. Can't complain. Made in the shade.
Made in the shade. And that's important over there in the Hawaiian Islands, isn't it?
Yeah, you ain't got shade, you're in trouble, boy.
Now, can I ask you a serious question? And I know I just came to my head. I got to ask it now. I got to. It's crazy.
Shoot.
Have you ever seen anybody get hit by a coconut?
Yes.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
I almost got hit by a coconut.
That thing, supposedly that thing could kill you, no?
Oh, yeah, man. Fall 50 feet, weighs 5 pounds, that could kill you.
So you actually seen people get hit by a falling coconut?
Yeah, I watched my friend. He was chopping coconut trees, and he left one up there that wasn't all the way undone, and the whole thing came down and had about 4 of them land on his back.
Ooh. That must have left
tough. He's tough.
Wow. You know, like
I hit him in the head, so he got lucky.
Like I said, I swear, it just came to my head when I was talking to you, and I was like, man, I got to ask him now. Just got to ask. It's good stuff. That's what happens when you live on Hawaii.
Amazing. Got to
pay the price to live in paradise, I guess. All right. If, for any reason, you missed last night's show, we had a fantastic interview. QT, you did that interview. Tell us who that was.
That was Mr. Roland Day of WBSI Web Safety, Inc.
And he gave out some good information, very
Yeah.
good product, very exciting times for them as they moved into the distribution sector of the business. Getting it out there, getting the product out there is very good. Also, if you missed the morning show this morning, The morning show this morning. Anyway, if you missed it, it is 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to approximately 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Catch Stock Sumo, Sifakia, and Haas as they're looking for all the news that is coming out, reading L2's charts and doing a whole bunch of other stuff, sound effects galore. They just love those sound effects. Can't take it away from them. Trying. Get there one of these days. I'm sure of it. So sure of it. All right. Also, you can now listen to Stock Traders Talk Radio on Investors Hub. That's correct. On Investors Hub. Look for the tab at the top that says Hot, and then at the bottom of that Hot tab, you will find the word Auditorium. Clicking on the Auditorium will take you directly to the STT page on iHub, and you can listen to the show right from there. Very exciting times for us. What you say, people?
Amazing.
What are you looking for there?
I'm just looking for a response is all. I mean, I don't want to sit here and talk for 20 minutes by my lonesome. So I figured I'd join you guys in with the little, what do you think? Good stuff. It's exciting. Very exciting. So, again, don't forget, catch the morning show, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Our night show is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, for tonight's show, we have a stock spotlight for you. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night show, that's correct, all 3 nights, are fully booked with CEO interviews. So look forward to what's coming up next on STT Radio. Now, I've wasted enough time in the beginning of the show, so let's get into our stock spotlight with Mr. Kopp. Mr. Kopp, take it away, sir.
Thanks there, STT. I love when you guys give me the companies like this. So this should be fun. Tonight's company is NEOM, is Neo Technologies Inc., and she closed today at 0.022, down 60.71% on a volume of 263,664,215. Quite the dump, to say the least. Very not a lot of happy shareholders that are out there today. Hence the reason why you guys like volatility in stocks. So we'll go from there. Now, as you guys know, what I normally do is I'll run through a quick DD of the company, basically what they do, and I utilize Investors Hub to do those type of things, as well as OTC markets. So basically, I'm on the Neo Media Technologies board, NEOM, and pretty decent iBox, goes through the whole Europe piece, the different places, addresses, and all that stuff. And if you guys don't know this play from last year, this was pretty big. Actually, for the last few years, when it was, if I remember correctly, it was Yorkville advertisers, right? You guys remember YA, right? Had some issues there. Bottom line is they put about $50 million into this company over the course of time. And with anything, when it comes to big money, when big money people put a lot of money into a company, they're going to get it back, plain and simple. So a lot of hedge fund players are involved here all over the place, hence why you're seeing the huge amount of money that's being associated with this. But I want to note one key thing. Long ago, back in 2009, 2010, if you guys remember that whole process, and we played this many times in the past, it was like the shares authorized were $5 billion, and it had a very, very low float, very low outstanding shares. Then over time, screamed up to over $2 billion in the OS, diluted to the nth degree, and then if I remember correctly, there was either a 1 for 100 or 1 for 120, somewhere around there. I think it was 1 for 100. I don't remember all of that, but it was what it was. And then sometime in November of 2010, you had the $5 billion still authorized, and the shares outstanding was 24 million. So here we are, back in the same situation all over again. And normally I wait to the end to do a chart, but I want you to pull up the chart. StockCharts.com is a very common one that we use, and it's NEOM, StockCharts.com, and then NEOM. And I want you to get off the daily, go out to maybe like a weekly. And what I want you to look at is the last year's time frame between May and June. You had the it was over 100 million in volume 2 days in a row, just about. It was like 80 and then 105, right around there. And you had the huge spike up. Drove all the way up to almost 23 cents, right around there. And then the following day, you get the big red candle. Now, the irony to that is you see the downward slope that happened over time, and then a year later, almost a year later, you get the exact same look of the chart. Almost mirror image, 50%, 60% cut, and then, on huge volume. The difference is this time, now you're getting ridiculous volume of 230-some million. So absolutely huge. Now, the reason why I bring that up is we're going to go to OTCmarkets.com. Big money company, right? In the sense that OTCmarkets.com, type in NEOM, N-E-O-M, and then we're going to go right to company information, right? 1360 Center Drive, Suite 210, Dunwoody, Georgia, 30338. If you guys remember correctly, this was like the company years ago, which had the great. It was at the forefront, first to market, pretty much on the QCO piece, and then it was out of Fort Myers, Florida, if I remember, and it was like huge potential that actually was there for a long time. So they threw a lot of money into this concept and everything else. All right, now shares outstanding. All right, I'm on the security details of the company info. Is 437,378,000. Okay, now that's as of November 9th, 2011. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm not going through what the company does and all the patents and the technology and all that stuff. I'll touch on that a little bit, but I think that's what everybody wants you to know from the DD perspective. So shareholders record was 390, March 25th, 2011. Now, I'm going to kick over to the news. All right. Let me digress here just 1 second. With a company of this magnitude and the amount of money is associated with this, the share structure not being updated since November 9, 2011 is very concerning, and I think that should send off some light bulbs for everybody because they have the money supposedly, right? Based off the value, right? I mean, market value as of yesterday was 24,493,174. And I did want to touch the company officers as well. Laura A. Marriott is the acting CEO. George G. O'Leary is the co. And James Duran is the interim CFO. But that's not true anymore. Very weird situation that actually happened there. James Duran, I believe, once we go through the filings and all that, I think he became the CFO in January, and then somewhere around February 12th stopped being the CFO, and then we got the good old Colonel Bear, and I'm sure many of you guys remember him from ECTY and a couple of the other companies back in time that are doing quite well actually now. So we're going to bounce over to the news piece. All right. Now, the latest news is the March 8th news where it launches an upgraded Neo reader, right? And, the pioneer in global mobile barcode management solutions today announced the launch of the updated Neo reader barcode scanning software application for Apple iOS, Android, BlackBerry, Windows Phone 7 users. The upgraded apps are available now from the Apple App Store, Android Market, Google Play, BlackBerry, etc. For users to transform their devices into barcode scanners and seamlessly connect to mobile content. Neo Reader bridges the gap between traditional and digital media, allowing all users with camera phones to scan both 2D and 1D code types in order to access specific web content. Real-time products or service information, download content, or complete a mobile commerce transaction with one click. Users no longer need to type in long URLs, scroll through long lists of search results, or navigate cumbersome mobile phone menus. So basically it goes to the redesign, has a good, faster 1D and 2D barcode scanning, and then it has the About Neo Media. Neo Media Technologies is the global market leader in 2D mobile barcode technology and infrastructure solutions that enable the mobile barcode ecosystem worldwide. Its technology platform transformed mobile devices with cameras into barcode scanners, enabling a range of practical and engaging applications, including consumer-oriented advertising, mobile ticketing and couponing, and business-to-business commercial track and trace solutions. Right? NEOM Media's suite of products, services, and extensive IP portfolio means it's the only producer able to offer consumers a comprehensive end-to-end mobile barcode solution. NEOM Media's current customers include handset manufacturers, platform providers, brand and agencies looking to offer mobile barcode solutions to their customer base. And then you can go to www.neom.com or visit one of the following other destinations. It's got LinkedIn, Twitter, and a couple other things. Pretty good. A lot of good information there. The PR team, is Matt McCarthy. Nice guys. His phone number is 617-502-4358, or Europe, Brian Waters. Now, that's Pancom. Basically, it's a marketing company. They got a lot of big companies that they're associated with. So it's the higher level bigwig marketing is really what it is. So pretty big staff. I believe they're out of Boston, Massachusetts. All right, so I want to roll over to the financials. All right, so basically on the financials, the same, you write down, you got your SEC filings, you got your, the first one that we're going to look at is February 17th, Form 3, right, which is Barry Bear, okay, Colonel Bear, Vietnam vet, where basically it announces him initial installment of a beneficial ownership of securities, right, out of Boulder, Colorado. Basically says what that whole deal is. Not so important for exactly what we're doing here. Okay, February 14th is the 8K. Now the 8K, let me go through this one real quick, is the departure of directors or certain officers, election of directors or appointment of certain officers, compensatory arrangements of certain officers, okay? Effective February 13th, 2012, Colonel Barry S. Bear was appointed by the Board of Directors of NEOM Media Technologies, Inc., a Delaware corporation, to serve as the company chief financial officer and corporate secretary. Colonel Bear will be based in the company's Boulder, Colorado headquarters. Colonel Bear has an extensive career in financial management and has served as CFO for a number of public and privately held companies, including Obsidian Enterprises, Inc. from 2001 to 2002, and then Ecotactality, right, ECTY, which is they're still trading. I believe they're over $1 now. Back then, they were probably between 10 cents and 15 cents during his time frame. So, and a couple of reverse splits. Now, I bring that up for a reason. He knows the game. He knows the situation. And one thing about Google's the second most powerful thing in the world behind compound interest, as you all know. And if you research the phone numbers, the tickers, the names, change up the initial and all that other type of stuff, you'll find out some absolutely just amazing things. But I'm not here to dog out the company. I'm just here to lay down the facts of what I actually find regarding where this is, what it's doing, and why, and that type of stuff. And believe me, when I tell you that, I don't know what the exact OS is. Do I believe it to be around 1 billion? Yes, I do. Hence, that would be almost 550 million more than what it is right now, based off of the trading and DD Amanda and certain things that I'm actually seeing. That's my guess. And that is just that, no proof, no documentation, just from doing this for many, many years and understanding exactly pieces of how this works. That's what I believe it to be. So basically it goes through the rest of his resume that's actually happened, and then it discusses Mr. James A. Durand, named in January 2012 as the chief financial officer and corporate secretary of the company, has left the company effective as of February 8, 2012. Now, I did a little research on Mr. Durand as well, and he's been involved in a lot of different companies. That would be one guy I would like to talk to, believe it or not, to find out exactly what the deal is, why he left, and those type of things. So it goes through, and for immediate release, the February 14th press release is actually attached to that. All right, so we're jumping off that. Now we're going to go to the SC 13G. Okay. Now, Schedule 13G is a pretty big deal, all right? Now, with this is JMC Holdings LP, all right? Now, if you look at it, it's J. Michael Klein. Now, one thing I kind of want to point out to this is when you got YA Global and a whole bunch of different pieces associated with this, where they put a lot of money into making this work, and when shares and debentures are rolled over and conversions happen and all that stuff, yeah, it's dilution, it's all that regular stuff. However, they put the money up, and I don't know if they've made it all back. I would hope so by now. However, if they haven't, then they're going to do whatever they got to do to get their money back, in my opinion. So basically, this is the tricky part about this. Now, this is a 4.99% aggregate amount of beneficial owned for each reporting person. Now, what's funny about this, it's got a preliminary note, right? The amendment, number one, Schedule 13G, amends and supplements the Schedule 13G initially filed by the reporting person on April 7th, 2011, okay? April 7th, 2011. Now, do the math here. Where was the stock trading back in April 2007? Right before the May pop, right? Okay. So with respect to the common stock, I mean, some of this is written as if you're not going to read this and you're not going to find certain tidbits of data points, if you will. But believe me, April 7th is a big deal. All right. So NEOM Media Technologies, Inc., excerpt in the extent amended or supplemented by the information contained in this amendment, number one. Okay, so I'm not going to read all the little fine print, but let's just go on November 8th, 2011. Okay, the day before November 9th's actual OS, right? Remember that. The reporting person received the convertible debenture with a $40,750 outstanding principal balance. The November debenture, which November debenture was originally issued by the issuer on August 24th, 2006. 2006, okay, tells you that they're not done. All or any portion of the outstanding principal amount of November debenture incurred but unpaid interest therein is convertible into common stock of the issuer at a conversion rate or the sole option of the holder equal to either 20 cents or 90% of the lowest closing bid price as defined in the November debenture. During the 125 trading days immediately preceding the date of conversion, the November debenture prohibits the reporting person from converting any portion thereof to the extent such conversion would result in reporting person's beneficiary owning in excess of 4.99% of the outstanding shares of common stock following such conversion of receipt of shares as payment of interest. What does all that mean? Okay, JMC, Mr. Klein, amount beneficially owned, $22,704,000. Okay, that's the 4.99. Now, if you calculate it off the basis of $194,000 in outstanding principal balance of the debenture and another $40,000 outstanding principal balance and approximately $1,000 accrued but unpaid interest on the November debenture held by the reporting persons of the December 31st, 2011, 437 million shares of common stock outstanding as of November 9th, 2011. Okay, so that, right, 437 million common stock outstanding as of November 9th, 2011, which is exactly what OTC says. As discloses the issuer quarterly report on Form 10-Q filed with the Securities Exchange Commission. On November 14th, 2011, 7,978,000 shares of common stock issued to JMC on December 15th, 2011, upon conversion of a portion of the debenture. Right? Then it basically goes through, and let me jump to it. Okay. All right. The debenture and the November debenture prohibit the reporting persons from converting any portion of the debenture or the November debenture, respectively, or receiving shares of common stock as a payment of interest thereon, to the extent such conversion or the receipt of such interest payment would result in the reporting person's beneficially owning in excess of the 4.99% of outstanding shares of common stock. Following such conversion or receipt of shares as payment of interest, if there were no blocker provisions in the debenture and the November debenture, then based on the conversion price of the debenture of 0.0094 on December 31st, 2011, and a conversion price for the November debenture of .0093, okay, that's what they got it at, on November 31st, 2011, if the $194,000 outstanding principal balance of the debenture and $40,000 outstanding principal balance on the approximate $1,000 accrued but unpaid interest of November debenture were converted as of such date, the reporting person would beneficially own 38 million shares of common stock and some change of the issue, would represent approximately 8.13% of the total shares of common stock outstanding at such time. Shares held directly by JMC Holdings. J. Michael Klein is the general partner of JMC Holdings, okay? So the reason why that's so important, all right, is exactly that. A lot of shares that are actually going out there. Now, if you jump back, there's an 8K back in February 10th, another 8K January 18th, another 8K January 13th, another Form 3, then 8K on January 9th, right, a whole bunch of them. And where this is, the one on 9th saying that, James Duran was appointed as NEOM Media's technology as a CFO. And then, but what I really want you to do, I want you to jump back to November 14th, 10Q. All right. Now, November 14th, 10Q is pretty big. All right. So basically, it's your quarterly report. All right. And for the quarterly period ending September 30, 2011. All right. Now, where this gets tricky is, and these are in thousands, just so you guys know, you basically have your financial information. Now, on the so when you look at the September 30th, 2011, cash and cash equivalents was in thousands, okay? Cash and cash equivalents, $250,000, all right? Trade account receivable, $353,000. Okay, inventories and net allowance, right, $147,000. Bottom line, total current assets were $985,000, all right? Very low number for this company. Okay, property, equipment, and net. Goodwill, right? The goodwill number is jacked up to 3418, right? $3,418,000, right? And then the proprietary software, 921, and then the patents and a couple other things. So total assets, $8 million, right? That's what we're going to call it. $8 million, of which the $3.4 million is goodwill, and the patents and other intangible assets are $1.8 million. So you do the math there. Okay, then you have the total liabilities. Now this is where it gets tricky. Accounts payable, $532,000. Accrued expenses, $11 million. Deferred revenue and customer repayments, $110,000. Accrued purchase price guarantees, $4.5 million. Accrued deferred tax liability, $706,000. Derivative financial instruments and warrants, $433,000. Now it gets even trickier. Derivative financial instruments, Series C and D preferred stock and debentures payable is $13,198,000. Debentures payable carried at amortized cost is $15,698,000. Debenture payable carried at fair value is $17,900,000. So total current liabilities is almost $66 million. Okay, huge amount. So let me give you this again. Assets, $8 million. Liabilities, almost $66 million. All right, that is off the charts. Okay, absolutely off the charts. Now, the series, I'm going to go to the convertible C preferred, right, which is 27,000 shares authorized, 5,433, 8,336 shares issued and outstanding, liquidation value, and what it is. Okay, so then it has the other thing with your Series D. I'm not going to go all in each one of these. Bottom line, total liability shareholder deficit is pretty big, and the accumulated deficit is another 232. It's way up there. Looks like 200 accumulated paid-in capital, 166 million. Accumulated deficit, 232 million. Right, that's everything over time, and it goes through. Then it has an operating loss, Now, when it goes through the weighted average number of common shares, fully diluted, right, is the 3,440,000,000. So I'm just going to keep sliding down. I'm going all the way down. I want to go down the notes. I think I made my point when it came to the different pieces of the financials. Okay. Whenever you go, you always want to get a note 1 of general. Anytime you see a 10Q, it's one of the most important things. So I'm going to go ahead and just read this to you. NEOM Media Technologies, Inc. Is an innovator and global market leader in 2D mobile barcode technology and solutions that enable the mobile barcode ecosystem worldwide, as we discussed before. As a technology pioneer in the global mobile barcode industry, our suite of products, services, and IP portfolios allows us to offer comprehensive end-to-end mobile barcode solution, as we talked about, right? Now, going concern. We have historically incurred net losses from operations, and we expect that we will continue to have negative cash flows as we implement our business plan, right? Now, that triggers to me, they've been implementing it for 6 years. There can be no assurance that our continuing efforts to execute our business plan will be successful and that we're able to continue as a going concern. The company consolidated financial statements have been prepared in conformity with accounting principles generally accepted in the United States of America, U.S. GAAP, which contemplates our continuation as a going concern. Net income for the 9 months ended September 30th, 2011 and 2010, respectively, was $12.4 million and $41.5 million. Okay, so 2011, $12.4 million. 2010, $41.5 million. Okay, of which $18.9 million and $47.6 million, respectively, were net gains related to our financial instruments. Okay, so they got the financial instruments. That's where the net gains come from. Now, net cash used by operations during the 9 months ended September 30th, 2011 and 2010 was $3.5 million and $4.7 million, respectively. At September 30th, 2011, we have an accumulated deficit of $232 million. Accumulated deficit of $232 million. We also have a working capital deficit of $65 million, of which $47.2 million is related to our financing instruments, including $18.3 million related to the fair value of warrants and those debentures that are recorded by hybrid financial instruments, and $28.9 million related to the amortized costs, carrying value of certain of our debentures, and the fair value of associated derivative liabilities. We also have a continuing purchase price agreement, purchase price guarantee obligation of $4.5 million associated with an acquisition of a business in 2006, which we subsequently sold in 2007. Okay? The items discussed above raise substantial doubt about our ability to continue as a going concern. We currently do not have sufficient cash or commitments for financing. To sustain our operations for the next 12 months, we will require additional financing in order to execute our operating plan and continue as a going concern. Our management's plan is to attempt to secure adequate funding to bridge the commercialization of our patent licensing barcode ecosystem businesses. We cannot predict whether this additional financing will be in the form of equity, debt, or another form. We may not be able to obtain the necessary additional capital on a timely basis, on acceptable terms, or at all. In the event that these financing sources do not materialize, or that we are unsuccessful in increasing our revenues and profits, we may be unable to implement our current plan for expansion, repay our debt obligations as they become due, or respond to competitive pressures, any of which circumstances would have a material adverse effect on our business, prospects, financial condition, and results of operations. Should our lender, YA Global Investments, right, YA Global, you guys remember all them in the news, choose not to provide us with continued financing, or we do not find alternative sources of financing to fund our operations, or if we are unable to generate significant product revenues, we only have sufficient funds to sustain our current operations through approximately December 8th, 2011. Okay? The financial statements do not include any adjustments related to recoverability and reclassification of recorded asset amounts or the amounts of classification of liabilities. Okay, so here's what we know. Based off of that, that they needed funding, clearly more shares have gone out into the system. You have the debenture. Now, there's summary significant accounting policies, and you go through the rest of the whole thing. Now, and then it talks about the actual financing, right? So I kind of want to jump to that piece. And I know this could be kind of boring, but this is important stuff. And I'll just pull out the key pieces where it comes to the conversions. Our preferred stock and convertible debentures are convertible into shares of our common stock. However, the conversions of each of these securities is limited such that the holder cannot exceed 9.99% beneficial ownership of our common stock unless the holder waives the right to such limitation. As of December 30th, 2011, the holders of our Series C preferred stock have converted 16,567 shares of original 22,000 of the preferred C stock into 204 million shares of common stock, and holders of our Series D preferred stock have converted 1,339 shares of the original 25,000 shares of Series D preferred stock into another 10,938,000 shares. YA Global has converted $888,000 of principal and interest on these debentures into 76 million shares of our common stock. Holders other than YA Global converted 1,399,759 of principal and accrued interest on debentures into another 114 million shares of common stock. Bottom line, you can read through this whole thing. Shares are just coming out of the woodwork in every last little piece to it. Now, all right, so I'm going to jump. All right, now let me give you my next thing. Just bear with me here. I'm jumping all over the place. Okay, the next thing is I want to go back to JMC Holdings and J. Michael Klein. Okay, they reported on basically. I like holding the different holdings. I like City Biz List of New York. It's pretty good, and basically what you find there is JMC Holdings and J. Michael Klein report 9.9% stake in NEOM Media Technologies. Now that was reported on April 10th, 2011. Okay. April 10th, 2011, right before the May thing happened again. Okay, remember, look at the chart, the big pop up in May. JMC Holdings and its managing members own 6,443,000 shares and 9.9% of the common stock, Atlanta-based, right? Reports as of that, tells you what they got, $128,866, right? Doesn't seem like a big deal, right? SEC filing, everything's legit. Puts it up there, right? Announces it as they are, and just say, JMC. You guys know this is like a bunch of it's hedge funds. It's what they do. All right, so now I'm going to go to the insider trading piece because now I want to see what exactly has happened here in 2011. So I go back to I looked up the C Form 4s back then, and I want to know exactly what JMC Holdings was doing. So if I go all the way back on 3/18/2011, I'm just going to rattle off the shares traded and the average price, okay? Or I'll give you the shares traded and the amount. On 3/18/2011, it was 761,000 shares at 0.035. There's 26 grand. On April 1st, 84,000 shares, another 4 grand. On February 8th, another 9 grand. On January 21st, 26 grand. On January 18th, another 46 grand, right? Right before all of this stuff was happening last year, all right? So now I'm going to bounce again. So I'm giving you the lay of the land of how the debentures are rolling up when all of that volume was being created last year. Okay, so bear with me. All right, so I gave you the insider trading. All right, now I'm going to jump over to one of the state of Minnesota. Basically, I don't want to go too deep into this, but if you look at, there's a lot of different stuff where there was a couple civil actions that actually happened. State of Minnesota, where it talks about it was all about American credit card. Now, the thing about it is, J. Michael Klein and his associates, it's a family of New York hedge funds under the control of investment manager named J. Michael Klein and his associates, engineered two transactions. Now, this is beginning in 2006 and 2007. But if you go through the whole thing, it in turn invested $42 million in National Arbitration Forum and obtained government's rights to it. Now, the reason why I bring this up is they know this game. They know this like through and through, and it is what it is. All right? Okay, so know that that's out there, and you want to go look at that. But I'm not here to. I'm here to talk about NEOM. All right. So now I want to jump to Laura Marriott. All right. I like those of you that listened to this before. I probably know that I've gone to Lead 411 before. www.lead411.com. Now, what that does is it allows you to look up companies and different things, who's all involved, the executives, and all of that. And it gives you it always ties all the phone numbers. And I'm a big fan of phone numbers. You don't have Laura Marriott's, but you have Lane McCready. And if you guys remember when Lane McCready came in, there was a big rumor that he was the hedge fund plant, and just shares started going crazy and all that other stuff. And then the vice president of marketing, Terry Griffin, and those guys. I don't know what they did, how they did it, and quite frankly, I don't care back then. Bottom line is, you had a huge spike up. A lot of people lost a lot of money, all over the place, and left bag holders in the OTC everywhere. They still have James Duran still on here, but there's a bunch of phone numbers to where you can actually grab the phone number, drop it in Google, search it out, and you'll see ties like you wouldn't believe. It's quite amazing. All right, so now I'm going to go down to. I wanted to see what was going on with James Duran. Okay, I didn't understand why a CFO. They put out the 8K that he came on board as CFO. Next thing you know, within 1 month, he's gone. All right, so this is I'm going to give you one of my most favorite ones to use. All right, www.macroaxis.com. That is www.macro axis.com. Now, what you're able to do when you go in there is just type in the symbol NEOM, and you'll be able to go to all kinds of different things that are with it. All right. Now, the reason why I like this site so much is they keep up on the filings and they pop their stuff into their data. And if you're a member of the site, it gives you a lot of good stuff. So basically, right here, I wanted to look up under James Duran. He's appointed the CFO. Then it goes through a little bit of his history, specializing in auditing publicly held companies, etc. Age 55. All right, and then where he received his degree. All right, now the management efficiency. The company has returned on a total asset ROA of 39.14% red, which means it has lost 39.14 on every dollar spent on the asset. This is way below the normal average. So now you're going to have the executive, but if you look over there on the right-hand side, you'll see the safe zone, the green, and then you'll see the distress. This company is almost pegged in the red to distress. 98% chance of bankruptcy. 98% chance. NEO Media Technology has more than a 98% chance of experiencing financial distress in the next 2 years. Well, I think we proved that with the filing. So I want to go down here where the company has accumulated $33.72 million in total debt, and that's old, as we kind of went through that. Has current ratio of 0.02, indicating it has a negative working capital and may not be able to pay financial obligations in time and when they become due. And then it talks about what the company is, what it does, and all that other stuff. And you can search back through the different officers, the directors, and all kinds of stuff. And it actually has the outstanding shares match up to the 433 million, which is actually pretty good. Normally they don't. All right, so going a little bit further here. All right, so I gave you the insider trading piece. I gave you the filings, and you can go further back and you can look at it and those type of things. Now, there's a lot of articles running around, a lot of cool marketing tools, and a lot of different things. And I definitely don't in any shape or form want to slight Laura Laura Marriott, because I mean she's got a very huge background. And if you guys ever the official board, all right. So let me give you another one. Officialboard.com, right? So www.theofficialboard.com, and you type in who you're looking for. And in my case, I wanted to find out about Laura Marriott, basically history, and then it ties all the colleagues together, and then how many are in the industry. Now, she's one of the renowned people when it comes to this technology and barcoding and those type of things. Speaks all over the place, and whether she walks away tomorrow from this company, she will have a job. Period. There is no doubt in my mind on that. She's very tied into a lot of different things and a lot of people. One thing I do like to do is I always want to check out LinkedIn. Those people that are grouped into this, you can tie a lot of stuff. And Ms. Marriott has been Chief Executive Officer and Board Chairman since October 2010. Prior to this, she served as the NEOM Media's Chief Marketing Officer and has been an active member of the NEOM Media Board of Directors since January 2009. Now, we know that since she's been at the helm, you know exactly what's been going on with the stock, how many shares have been coming in the market, the pop-up, the drag down, slide for a while, and then now the recent pop-up that we actually just had. And she also served as a global president of the Mobile Marketing Association, MMA, from 2005 to 2009. Very good resume, huge stuff. And another tidbit that I kind of want you to look down if you really want to dig deep is she's also a board member of Wavefront. Now, Wavefront is another company that's actually, I believe it's in Vancouver, Canada, if I remember correctly. But nice. A lot of communication type stuff that go on there, and then you figure out viewers of this profile, who else they viewed, those type of things. You can tie a lot of different things together with what's actually happening here. Okay, so now back to I want to go to money. All right, money is a big deal, as we all know. When you sit here and you look at this, and I just want to talk about the last two trading days. I want to talk about Thursday and Friday. On Friday, you had $11 million come into the stock, where it had 287 million shares. All right? The day before that, on Thursday, $3 million came into stock. Now, if you go back, you're going to see a bunch of $100,000 days and all that other type of stuff, and where you can see a small little pop-up where you're actually getting it, where it's climbing up a little bit, then a slight slide, and then the prop-up, okay? Now, this is just experience. I don't know what happened here. I do know this, that when you sit there and you look at this chart screams, okay, people found out they're getting ready to run the stock. They front-loaded the stock right around in that mid-March. Then next thing you know, tons of promoters went out on it, uncompensated, by the way, which means that a hedge fund probably gave them a heads up saying, hey, I want to move this. I'm not going to dilute on you. I want it to go. Right? So they load up the stock, they eat up the shares at the low, and then you get the big pop, and everybody and their brother starts screaming at it, and the thing goes up 100. It actually goes up 36% on Wednesday, another 55% on Friday, and then another 163% or 36% on Wednesday, 55% on Thursday, and then 163%. That big ass wick. Can I say that? That big wick of 163% on Friday, right? Then it's buzzed all weekend, good pop, right? And you can go back through and you can see this whole thing, and then it brings you to today, right? And what do you get today after all that, where you can clearly see the amount of shares that have traded over the last 4 days? I mean, it's the float is traded twice. So how many shares are out there? My guess is 1 billion. It could be anywhere between 800 and 1.1 billion, 800 million, 1.1 billion. But you're seeing a repeat of May. I'd like to sit there and say it all along to all the guys, that she's going to bounce for you and all that cool stuff. And, just everything I'm seeing, I cannot say that to you. I don't know what it's going to do. Like anything else, it's all speculation. However, knowing the trend of these guys and the fact that big money wants their money back and the fact that they're not making any money, this is just not it's not one for the weak at heart. I can assure you of that. So essentially, that's where I'm at. Penny, any questions that you got there, STT?
Questions, huh? You want questions?
I mean, I don't want any questions. I mean, that's what I got.
Okay, because I don't have any questions really. I mean, I think you covered everything there.
I mean, it is what it is. It's one of those things where they have the players in place, which is funny, and it looks odd, right? It's as if like the players that were put there as fronts or something. I don't know. Very, very odd to me, because they have the credentials, they have the resumes, they have the background, but there's just so much debt that they're actually working with that it's like you're playing on the New Orleans Saints from back in the 70s. You know what I mean? They didn't have the game, so it's very, very odd, and they got they got the patents, of course. I wouldn't be so surprised if somebody's just trying to rip, kind of like get the patents from them. There's a lot of different possibilities that are going on here, but make no mistake, the average shareholder is not in charge here. It is the hedge funds galore.
No.
They're running the show right now.
And this has been run up a few times like this. We know that from the past. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. All right. Very good job there, Mr. Cop. Thank you. It's a wonderful, wonderful job, actually. A little too long, I think. 52 minutes.
Yeah, you could have stopped that. I didn't realize it was going that long.
You do this every time you come back after you miss a show.
Is that what it is?
Every single time you come back from missing a show, you take your stock spotlight or your CEO interview and run it for 50 to 55 minutes.
All right, well, I won't. Go where you're going.
I have a caller on the line. I don't know if he wants to talk to us or not. It's not signaling me that he came in to talk. But should I add him and see if he has anything to add to your
Sure, why not?
NEOM conversation? If not, I'm sorry, caller. We'll see how this works out.
19.
Caller, you're on the air.
I don't know. 15 or 19. 18.
Caller?
19. It's not a freeway. Really? 19 degrees. No, 19 degrees is about a 5 way. So we fly.
I think he needs directions.
Yes, probably because
Sorry.
Something. All right. Now, let's move over. I don't have time for commercials because we're running very short of time now. I want to throw it over to Sifakia to give us the top 10 buzzing on iHub. Sifakia, do it.
All right. These were just grabbed randomly, guys. I don't know if they're being promoted, news, whatnot. I just caught my eye, so I want to go through them. First one is ticker FDMF. That's Freedom Energy Holdings. That's pink sheets. It was up 15.79% today. Check that chart. It's getting ready to break through that 150 if it can. I think she's looking good. Huge volume today. The next one I got here, guys, is IAHL, and that's IAHL Corp. It's a pink. It was up 24.14% today. And the thing I like about this chart is just that a lot of the indicators are moving up through that 50 MA, and the PPO is looking solid, and it just got a nice positive trend going up, and you got a lot of support areas with those moving averages running below it. And the next one we got, going backwards here, is ticker symbol ASKE. That's Alaska Pacific Energy Corp. It was up 20% today on high volume. I like this just because it's a nice little bottom triangle and huge volume today, so get that one on the watch list. And we have got next one. Oh, I keep going the wrong direction, guys. Sorry about that. Try to get it set up and can't even do it right. Is SNDY. We all know about this one. Solos Endoscopy. It was up 81.82%. This beast keeps going. Again, I like the chart. I like all the moving averages running up through it. I'm looking for that break above that 0147, and I call that a breakout. So keep that one on the radar. And next up, we have got HBRM. That's Hebronium Group Incorporated. It was at 4.35%. Same thing. Good, solid, positive divergence on a lot of the indicators, and getting ready to move up through that 200 MA. Look for that. You had a big spike and a big pullback, and they didn't take it too deep. So I like the way that's looking. Check that one out. That's HBRM. And next up, we got AYSI. We caught this on the radio this morning, and it was going nuts. Check that out. What else do we got here? We got MSLP. That's Muscle Farm. It was up 38.52%. And I like this because it crossed up through that 150 MA, and it's heading towards that 200. And, again, a lot of indicators looking positive, moving north. So, again, I love when you got a above its moving average is not blown. That's always a good sign. And next up on the list, we've got USSIF, U.S. Silver Corp. It was up 4.21%. I like this because you got a lot of higher highs and higher lows going on, and a lot of the indicators are coming off the bottom. It just looks like a lot of good stuff coming on. I'd like to see more volume to the green side, but I'd like the chart. Check that out, USSIF. And next we have got Pearl, P-E-R-L. That's Perla Group International. It was up 37.50% today, and a lot of big volume coming in. The chart looks a little choppy, but again, you've got a lot of solid indicators looking good, about ready to cross through those 50 MAs. You know how I love to throw those 50 MAs. And all these charts I'm looking at daily on them, so I'm not looking at what happened today, guys, besides the percentage I'm giving you. Next we have got, is that 10?
I have no idea.
Man,
is it 10?
I lost my spot.
Jeez, yeah, you know.
You were on a roll, man.
Wow.
You got two hands.
I ain't no sumo, man. Come on. This is my first time in the top 10. Hello.
You got two hands there. I'm sure you keep track.
What else we got to talk about? 4 minutes left. What are you looking at, Mike?
No. I want to check in on our caller again.
Okay, let's check in.
Caller, you're on the air. Okay. I have no clue what's going on.
Sounds like he's eating.
Oh, my God. Oh, man. What am I looking at? I'm actually looking at the Middle Tennessee versus Tennessee NIT tournament right now. Does that help you?
Yep.
Okay.
How's that going?
Remember, I don't tell anybody what I play. Nobody.
That's true, he doesn't.
Nobody.
No, sir. It's top secret play. Top secret.
Yeah.
Oh, here's one I wanted to throw on there, guys.
I do have you in one of them with me there, Sifikia.
Oh, yeah.
Looking good. Gonna go eventually.
SAPX, 7 Arts Pitchers, guys. We called this one out at 15 cents last week to get it on the radar. It's been popping. Like the indicators, I think there's a lot of people in this stock that were looking for it to go to up into that dollar range, a.k.a. rumors, and it never did. So keep this one on the radar. It's trying to get up through that 20 MA. That'd be the first positive thing to look for. But, again, just keep it on the radar. All these stocks, they're all speculative. So play them intraday. Good fun. Enjoy.
Did you say SAPX is at 15 cents?
No, we called it at 15 cents.
Oh,
Look for a balance on the radio one morning. It's at 21.9.
Okay, it's 21.9. Just a few weeks ago, wasn't that 50?
Yes,
That's
sir, it was.
Pretty
That's why I
disappointing
said
on
there's
that
probably
one.
a lot of people holding her.
Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Well, we're out of time for tonight's show. Don't forget to catch the guys in the morning. That's Sifikia, Haas, and Stock Sumo starting at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also coming up this week on STT Radio, The Late Show, as I like to call it, the 8 p.m. show, we have 3. That's correct, 3 CEO interviews Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night. From all of us here at Stock Traders Talk Radio to all of you out there in Stock Traders Talk Radio land, we are wishing you the best with every trade, and may your portfolio always be green. This is Stock Traders Talk Radio, and we are out. Aloha.
Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio. All views and topics talked about on Stock Traders Talk Radio is solely for entertainment purposes. We are not professional financial advisors and always recommend you seek the advice of a professional financial advisor. Never invest in any stock featured on our show unless you can afford to lose your entire investment. The information contained on our show is based on sources which we believe to be reliable, but is not guaranteed by us as being accurate. and might not be a complete statement or summary of the available data. Stock Traders Talk Radio advises that the investments in companies profiled are commonly considered to be high risk, and use of the information provided is at the investor's sole